Attention passionate Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to what's been happening with the Seahawks lately, you've probably noticed that the team is making strategic moves, especially when it comes to their backfield. And trust me, these aren't just random roster changes. They're part of a calculated effort to solidify a position that's been a bit of a roller coaster this season. The Seahawks, as we all know, are coming off a pretty interesting start to the 2025 NFL season, and their front office is showing they're still very much in the game, always looking for ways to improve and adapt. Recently, they've added a player who's familiar with the region, a guy who's shown flashes of talent and has the potential to be a real asset down the stretch. This latest move saw the Seahawks signing Myles Gaskin to their practice squad. Now, for those of you who follow college football and the NFL, you'll remember Gaskin from his days at Washington, where he made quite a name for himself. He's got a solid skill set, good vision, and a knack for finding the holes in defenses. Adding him to the practice squad is a smart move, giving Seattle some extra depth at a position that's been a bit inconsistent at times this season. But what's really interesting about this move is what it signals for the Seahawks' approach moving forward. They're not just relying on their current starters, Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet, who have been quite promising when healthy. They're also bringing in experienced veteran talent to keep competition high and to make sure they're covered if injuries strike again. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. To make room for Gaskin, Seattle decided to part ways with Khalil Herbert, a move that surprised many fans. Herbert was initially signed just a couple of weeks back, on September 23rd, after Zach Charbonnet was dealing with an injury. The team needed someone to step up, and Herbert, coming from the Chicago Bears, seemed like a good fit at the time. But now, with Gaskin in the mix, the Seahawks are clearly prioritizing depth and versatility. Herbert's departure was quick, but it's not all bad news for him. Just days after being released by Seattle, Herbert found a new home with the New York Jets. And as ESPN's Adam Schefter reported, the Jets signed Herbert as they're dealing with some injury issues at the running back position, specifically with Braylon Allen, who's on injured reserve. It's a quick turnaround for Herbert, and it shows how the NFL is all about opportunity and making the most of every chance you get. Now, if you're a Seahawks fan, you're probably wondering, what does this mean for the team's running game going forward? Well, it's clear that the coaching staff and front office are focused on ensuring they have enough options to keep the offense running smoothly, especially as the season heats up. With Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet both healthy, the Seahawks have a solid 1-2 punch. Charbonnet, in particular, has been a revelation this year, showing great vision and power, and he's been a reliable weapon for quarterback Sam Darnold. But adding Gaskin gives them that extra veteran presence, someone who can step in if either of those two needs a breather or if injuries strike again. It's all about maintaining that depth, because in the NFL, injuries are part of the game, and having reliable backups can make all the difference in close games. Speaking of games, let's talk about the upcoming Week 5 matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's a game that's got a lot of history and some real nostalgic vibes, because both teams will be wearing throwback uniforms. Yes, you heard that right. The Buccaneers will be donning their classic Bucco Bruce white uniforms with those iconic creamsicle accents, a throwback to their 1976 uniforms, which is a real treat for fans of NFL history. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are going all out with their blue throwbacks, complete with silver helmets and pants, giving us a glimpse of what the team looked like back in the day. It's a game that's not just about the current rosters, but also about celebrating the league's rich history and the traditions that make the NFL so special. Now, playing a Thursday night game certainly has its pros and cons. The short week can be tough on players, especially with the quick turnaround between games, but it also gives the team a little extra rest before facing the Buccaneers. Seattle's head coach, Mike McDonald, mentioned that the team is in good spirits and that they're making the most of this mini-bye week. They had a brief practice on Monday, focusing on getting back into rhythm after the game against the Arizona Cardinals. That extra day or two of rest is crucial, especially with some of the bumps and bruises that come with a long NFL season. McDonald emphasized the importance of being sharp and prepared, and from what we're hearing, the team feels confident and ready to bring their best on Thursday night. And speaking of those odds, the Seahawks are actually favored by 3 points in the latest betting lines from FanDuel. That's a testament to how well they've been playing lately and the respect they're earning from the sportsbooks. Both teams have their strengths, and this game is shaping up to be a real battle. The Buccaneers, led by quarterback Baker Mayfield, are looking to bounce back from some early season struggles, but they still have a talented roster, including the legendary Bucco Bruce, uniforms adding a touch of nostalgia. On the other side, Sam Darnold will be leading the Seahawks offense, and there's a lot of optimism around how he's been managing the team, especially with the solid running game and the new additions at running back. Now, it's interesting to note that Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold have a bit of a connection. They were both teammates at the Carolina Panthers. Mayfield downplayed the idea that they'd reminisce about their time together, but you can tell there's mutual respect. Mayfield mentioned that he's happy seeing Darnold thrive now, especially after some tough stretches earlier in their careers. It's a reminder of how NFL careers can be unpredictable, and how a change of scenery and the right opportunity can really turn things around for quarterbacks. Both Mayfield and Darnold have had their share of ups and downs, but now they're both leading teams that have a real shot at making some noise this season. But let's get back to the focus: Seattle's roster and their season so far. It's been an interesting journey. The Seahawks started the season with some uncertainties, especially at the running back position, but they've shown resilience. Zach Charbonnet and Ken Walker have been key pieces, and their performances have kept the offense dynamic. Charbonnet, in particular, has been a standout, showing a great combination of speed, power, and vision, which is exactly what the team needs to open up the offense and keep defenses honest. With Gaskin now added to the mix, Seattle has a veteran presence that can bring stability and experience, especially in critical moments of the game. The defense has also been stepping up, but that's a story for another time. Today, it's all about the offense and how the Seahawks are adjusting their roster to stay competitive. The NFL is a league of constant evolution, and Seattle's front office is clearly aware of that. Every move they make is aimed at keeping the team in the hunt, especially in a division that's become increasingly competitive. The 49ers, Rams, and Cardinals have all made significant moves this season, so the Seahawks need to be at their best. They're looking to not only compete, but to also position themselves as serious contenders come playoff time. And let's not forget, the Seahawks have a passionate fan base that's been through a lot over the past few years. From their Super Bowl appearance in 2014 to the ups and downs of recent seasons, they're always hungry for a deep playoff run. This season, with the addition of veteran players and strategic roster moves, they seem poised to make another push. The coaching staff, led by McDonald, is doing a good job of keeping the team focused and motivated, especially with the added motivation of playing on a short week against a division rival. Now, looking ahead, the Seahawks have some key matchups coming up, which could define their season. But for now, what's clear is that they're making smart roster decisions, and those decisions could have ripple effects across the division and even the conference. The addition of Gaskin and the departure of Herbert are small pieces in a much larger puzzle, but they could prove to be pivotal as the season progresses. It's about building depth, maintaining health, and ensuring that the team stays competitive and hungry. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this roster move? Do you think Gaskin can be the spark that pushes the Seahawks' running game to the next level? Or are you more optimistic about Charbonnet and Walker continuing their strong performances? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter so much to us and to the Seahawks organization. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and all the latest news from Seattle. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting our Seahawks through thick and thin. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Hawks!